If you've been following Depp vs. Heard in Virginia and things around the case, like Aquaman 2, which flopped, which failed, whatever you want to say, you might know that this guy, Dan Wootton, wrote some bad things about Johnny in The Sun way back when. And now, in 2024, Dan's issuing an apology to Johnny. And I say apology because it's not really an apology. Some Johnny fans on X are reacting. These tweets are from around March 14th, 2024, so pretty new. Fem says, Dan Wootton, if you're going to apologize for your true actions. You actively tried to have Johnny Depp fired, wrote to people. Exactly. What he said is what I call linguistic acrobatics, just all around, until you get to nothing. And he even said to this day, well, that doesn't mean Amber did it, and things like that, trying really hard not to be negative about Amber, but also kind of implying that exes say crazy things and do crazy things. And it didn't sound like he was talking about Johnny, to be honest. Sounded like that was geared towards Amber. And Vivas says, I'm very curious to hear what Dan Wootton is going to say to Johnny tomorrow. So it looks like Dan's going to have more of this, and it could be that Dan has his new outspoken brand out or whatever it is, and maybe he wants to try to make the biggest splash he can when launching it, so he's mentioning Johnny and apologizing. That's probably what's going on here. More on that in a minute. And then Fem says, I'm very curious if Dan's newsworthy without using Depp's name. Probably not. He could use his own name and the fact that he has allegations against him, but that wouldn't get as much attention. He was quick to leap to conclusions about multiple people after hearing only one side of the story. Only once he was accused did he seem to stop and rethink, but it shouldn't have taken that. I don't know if he's now sincere about his turnaround, but he has a lot to make up for. And you know what? I think most of us here agree he's not sincere. And like I said, probably because he's launching his new outspoken thing. And Helene says, not only wrote, but her and Dan Wootton went to JKrling, but she refused to have a meeting with them. Shame on them, and thank you, JKrling, for standing up for the truth. Yeah, I remember that actually. And Joe says, nothing he says will save him now. He's just trying damage limitation. No sincerity in his forced actions is there, Fem, replying to that person Fem before. And Norma also says it right here. Dan Wootton is talking to his ex so he can relaunch his own career. Exactly. Most likely. And Kiddo says, Dan Wootton's a piece of emoji here, whatever that is. I can't quite tell. Maybe you can. That's all, folks. And here it is. Dan Wootton Outspoken, which is his new platform, I guess. But Kiddo points out also, he's only got 734 followers right now. It might pump up there to something decent, but that's not a good start. When someone big enough and actually relevant joins a new platform, it goes up quick. Hundreds of thousands in a day or something like that. So we shall see, Dan. I'd say good luck, but I'd rather not to you. And also from Kiddo, your hands will never be clean, Danny boy. You can apologize 1,000 times, but it's not coming from your heart. It's of no value. AH is a vindictive and toxic liar, and you know it. You'll never be forgiven by the Depp relatives. And I think most of us, if not all of us here, can agree on that. Main point here, probably Dan's trying to relaunch his outspoken thing, and that's what this is about. And also, no one's buying it. Anyway, that's about it. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time. If you followed Depp vs. Heard, you probably know Virginia's long over. Aquaman 2 came and went. It flopped, it tanked, whatever you want to say. But also, there's this guy here, Dan Wootton, who wrote some bad things about Johnny in The Sun. Obviously, that was one big problem way back when. And now, in 2024, Dan decided he wants to apologize to John. Well, I mean, people generally say Johnny. Take two.